So today we're going to be building a team page on that link building land website, and we're going to create this whole thing completely custom with like the ability for you guys to actually import more like employees and stuff, and that will automatically be transferred out to the page, that kind of thing for your team page. So it's going to be a little bit more back end stuff. We're going to use, however, to make it really easy, a couple coding generators. So GenerateWP is one of my favorite ones to use. This one is great for generating what we need. It's just called a post type generator. And so I'll go ahead and click on that and kind of explain a little bit of what this code chunk right here is. This custom post type, you guys know what a post type is. It's pretty much inside of here, like post right here. This is a post type. Page is a post type. Product is a post type. This contact form is a post type as well. But
posts to your website.
yeah, so pretty much post types is just a different type of data type thing of saying, okay, we have a data. So the type of post type we're going to be creating in this one is going to be for the employees. So we're going to actually call this, the function is going to be called employee. Child themes, no. Go ahead.
So Brandon, is this just a website, like a WordPress.com website that helps you customize WordPress, or what is this?
Generate what, WP? Okay, so yeah, GenerateWP is just a generator for backend code. You can see a little bit of what they have, like sidebar menu generators.
So it's just an open source community type thing?
Yeah, in fact, WordPress.org, whenever you're learning about anything, they refer back to this site as one of the generators, so they link to it. You can log in and kind of create your own like saved post type stuff so that you don't have to like go in and generate each time, because it takes a little bit of process. We have to go through each one of these tabs to generate what this post type is going to be doing. And so yeah, the function name, the text domain, which I don't. All right, so with the label, so we're going to call this one employ. Post type, so post type key, and that's just all lowercase. Of course, we're going to do employee again. The description is going to be employees of the company. Name, employees, name plural. Well, I guess I should probably do that there. So we'll do employee, employees. And then link to the taxonomies. A taxonomy with WordPress is different ways to categorize your post types. So for example, in your WordPress with your posts, you can have categories and tags, if you've ever seen those before. Those are two different types of taxonomies. And you can create multiple different types by even using like GenerateWP to create a taxonomy that's it works just like categories, but you could call it like locations, so that you could be like, okay, we can drill down a page to the location and have that kind of show up on the front end if you're doing like a directory or something like that. Hierarchy is pretty much if you allow it to have your post types where it's like you can have ed and then ed's child underneath them or something like that. We aren't going to be using hierarchy here, so we don't allow those. Posts, you can have hierarchies, so you could have a post about, just as an example, like the beginnings of WordPress, and then a child that says, WordPress 102, what we forgot to tell you type thing, and that could be the child-parent relationship. So we're going to go ahead and just say no. I'm going to leave category and post types. Actually, no, I'm not, because we don't need them now that I think about it. Labels, this is actually pretty good to go ahead and change them. These are all the labels right here. So whenever you are inside of WordPress and it says like add new post or add edit post, that kind of thing, you can change those here. So it'd be, here's like the post type, so we'll do employees for the menu name, and that will show up on the menu. Then it's all, and then what I'll do is I'm just going to take this employees, copy that in there, so all employees. Parent item, I'm going to leave that alone. View employee, let's see, so parent employee. I mean, that we're not going to have that problem because we got rid of hierarchy. Add new employee, add new, which I'll just leave that so that, I mean, it kind of sticks with it. Let's see, edit employee right there, update employee, search employee, employee not found, and employee not found in trash. So that's the labels that you'll want to customize. Then we have options, and the options are actually pretty important of what can you actually have on it. These are all the standard stuff that you can put inside of a post type, and it's just like the posts, like the blog posts. So we're going to have title, of course, content to kind of give them a body of content to put. Excerpt, we're not going to have. Author, featured image we'll go ahead and have, so we can put a picture of someone's face, like your employee or something like that. If you want revisions, that way it will save revisions within the system. Custom fields we're going to leave unchecked. Page attributes and page formats, which is like formats is, I believe, where you can say it's like a media type versus gallery or that type of stuff. Exclude from search, so you can exclude it. So we'll go ahead. I like to exclude it from search because that way they can't just go and search my employee's name, because we're building the team page, so they'll be able to find the team page but not the actual like a page that's only the employee. Enable export, so we'll go ahead and say yeah, and then enable archive so that we can that way if we were ever exporting the data out of this, we could export it and import it to another WordPress installation. And you can actually turn that off so that you force the data to be on your WordPress website. Visibility, this shows post type in the admin UI, which is yeah, that way we can actually click on it, edit that, and make new ones. There are some reasons why you wouldn't want it to be public, which is if you have just data that you're going to enter in and then just completely hide that data from the administrators to be able to do anything with. Usually that is done more in a custom type plugin setting. Show UI, yes, and then show in the admin bar, you can kind of be like where it's going to be. So we're going to put it underneath pages. There we go. The admin sidebar icon, this one is actually pretty tricky to figure out. But my favorite way of trying to find it is WordPress admin icons. And then I always just click on the first one here. And then come down. All right, so it's called dash icons. Here it is. So for employees, we want to try, so that we'll just use this person right here. And when you click on these, it changes it at the top. So you can grab this name right here. And then let me go back to the WordPress generator. I just copy that in there. Admin users, that kind of thing. Show an admin bar. I'll go ahead and say yeah. And then show post type and admin bar, yeah. Query. The default query types is post type is equals employee, is kind of how we have it set up. So I'll just leave that default. Publicly queryable means that we can actually access the data from the front end. So like depending on the application you're building a post type for, we're of course covering the basic stuff on the front end, but you could actually build something like this for the back end use to where you could have like a task management system that's only in the back end of WordPress that isn't accessible on the front end. And then of course the custom query variable, which I'm going to just go ahead and name that employee just in case I need to. Permalinks. So Employ is going to be the permalink for the page, but you can actually echo it out to any page you want. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. The URL slug, so, oh, come on. I'll do a custom, so employ. If you allow pagination or not, I'm going to say no. And then if it shows up in the feeds, I'm going to say no. And then use URL slug, yes. Capabilities, so let's see if custom capabilities allows you to, let's see, is it here that I click on? Oh, come on. We're just going to do base capabilities, which gives us the ability to edit everything, but you can do custom capabilities to where only certain users, like you can have your subscriber be able to actually go on and edit and put on custom posts. I'll try to show you that here in a minute. This capability type right here. We really just have to do a comma and like add like subscriber, administrator, that kind of stuff here. But basically, it just makes it. We can say base is, it'll treat it like pages or posts. We'll just say posts is how we'll treat it. Update code, so it's going to update that. And now we have our entire snippet right here ready to go. This code, let me go ahead and copy it.
So just that snippet is taking all of those settings in account.
Yep. So now that we have that, we have, so like this is the theme root file. And you can, I usually just put it right in the functions. So I could do a couple returns here and paste that in, and then save it.
That's all PHP.
Yep. So yeah, all PHP. So I mean that's pretty simple right there in itself. I'm going to come back in here and refresh this page, and we should see employees right there. So that's our custom post type that we just created. So we could come in here to the custom post type, click add new, and type in Kevin. And pretty much say something about them, is that they work here. And let's go ahead and publish that. As far as that goes, now we can actually view that employee using that link right here. Oh, I turned off it to where it's not publicly queryable. I forgot about that. So this won't show up unless we went into this part right here. Where it was not that one. It's let's find it real fast. Let me see if it's the child's theme support. I think that may be it. We're going to create a new page called team anyway. But usually, I think I need to actually set up that post type as a type on the back end. So enter title here. So we're going to call this team as our team page. Publish that. And we have to go create a custom team page template. So the best way to go ahead and do that is to take probably this index page, and you can see this is the entire loop right here of WordPress, because if it has posts, then it will actually do the while loop, which will put the thumbnail in there, the content, the page, post data, whatever it is. We're going to go ahead and copy all that out and create a new one in here. So here's a new file, and we're going to call this template team.php. and paste all that in there. Up here, let's see, let me grab a custom one. Oh, wrong one.
You guys are, so I can understand this better, what's the end game of doing all this, of creating a snippet, making it like that? Why don't you just like make a normal page and then just do it like that?
Oh, there's actually quite a few advantages of doing it this way.
Okay.
Let me show you what the end game is going to look like after the next 30 minutes. It's going to look like this, to where it will show each one with custom fields. And instead of creating it like what you're saying, is we create it once and we can add as many people or as little people without having to go in and do the hard CSS HTML editing work, because the theme will do it for us. So I'm going to go back to the code over here. This file right here, let me delete most of that. I'm going to call this the team page. Hopefully that works. Let me make sure it works. I think I have to write template and then the team page. Yeah, alright, so let me quickly write that. Template, team page. Let's see if that shows up. Let's see, what was the other choices here? Blog, full post. Let me see if I open up one of these pages, if it will even. It just says page template.
So it actually recognizes stuff that's been commented?
Yeah, it does. Anything in here. So let me see. I'm trying to find, and I'm not seeing it within this theme. But let me quickly find one of my other themes to quickly get that name that I'm looking for. Generation Labs, backup, roots. All right, so let me quickly just open this one up. All right. So it's template name is what I was looking for, just like that. So we'll put in template name, and then we'll call this the team page. Team page. So come back over here, refresh. I should be able to see it now. There it is, team page. So I just made that one only using this template right here for the team page, which should just look just like the. It probably shouldn't have anything right now on it, but it will look just kind of like the blog roll when we're done with it. So at this point, what we want to do is we want to customize this. One thing that employees need is we need a couple custom fields. So we have Kevin, and we have a description of what Kevin does at the work, but we don't have like phone number, email, fields, things like that. So the best plugin that I've found to help you edit these, because there's so many different rules you can do with custom fields, is this thing called Advanced Custom Fields. It's a plugin. Using Advanced Custom Fields, you can come in here and add a new field group, and we're going to call this one Employee Info. And I'm going to go ahead and add a field called, we'll just do email. So email, you can set it up with all these different types of field choices. You can have more images, a WYSIWYG editor, a date picker, color picker, pretty much anything that you could think of that you'd want. So we're going to do for email, of course, email, and we're going to make this a required field. Field instructions is email of employee or team member, however you want to do it. And then just email for the placeholder. At this point, we'll go ahead and create another one. We'll call this one phone. And the phone number, we can go ahead and do a number in there and say that that's required. So here's the phone number of that person. The placeholder text would be phone. And let me just double check and see if there was any other that said phone number. Sometimes there's one that will say that. I'm not seeing one. What I'll probably do is just do a text in case they want to put those dashes in the phone number. So let me go ahead and put phone number in here again, required. Okay, we'll do another one that we'll call kind of like a bio. So, and then the bio, we'll go ahead and give them a WYSIWYG editor to kind of use the bio with. And that won't be required. Toolbar, you can say full or basic, we'll just do basic. Show media upload buttons, if they want to put like more media and stuff like that, you can choose. We're going to go ahead and pass that. Another one that I believe a lot of people like to do is, for example, social media. So we'll do like LinkedIn, not like LinkedIn, LinkedIn, and this one I believe. Let's see, do they have a URL here? Doesn't look like it. So, what? Page link. Awesome. Actually, you know what though? I wonder. I think that actually is to link to another page within the system. So I guess I'll have to do text on that one. Require. Well, no, we won't require that. So then that way we have the text holder says like LinkedIn URL. You kind of get the picture, right? I would go into more like Twitter and Facebook and all that kind of stuff because that would be like stuff you'd see on a normal thing. Now here's the location of all these rules. Is we say if the post type is equal to the employee, which is the post type that we created, then all of these custom fields will show up on that page. And so now down here in the order, this is kind of lowest to highest position. What that really means is like the highest is obviously the title on the page, and then we have the content, and then it's like that whatever plugin stuff like that. We'll just do normal, but it will show up right at the top, right after the content, and then we'll go ahead and put a standard meta box in there. I'll kind of show you what both of them look like, and then you can also hide any of these from the screen that you would like to hide. So for now, we'll go ahead and hide the slug because that wasn't working from earlier. And then we'll publish that. So at this point, we can go back to the employee.
What was that plugin called?
It's called Advanced Custom Fields. It's a free plugin. 5 stars. Get me some water out of the drinking fountain.
Sure.
With that, thanks. Like halfway full. It takes like 10 minutes to fill that thing with that. Anyway, yeah. So this is a great place to get all that stuff. So now that we have that, let me go into Kevin again, and we have right underneath here's the employee info. So we have email. So I'll just do Kevin@GenerationLabs.com. Phone number, I'm just going to make one up because I don't know it off the top of my head. By the way, that was Kevin that went out of the room, so he's probably wondering what I'm doing. The bio, Kevin is a back-end coder with years of experience with PHP and Java. So I'm going to go ahead. Good thing he's not in the room because he hates Java with a passion. http://linkedin.com. So at that point, we have all of that data. Thanks. All of that data within for that person, and then we can also have this data up here as well. This we could have hid completely using that post type generator. We didn't. So that shows up. You could actually use this as kind of their bio information instead of kind of customizing it with their own bio down here. If I go back to the custom fields,
what did you do to have that custom
that
fields
box.
form show up on the team page? Is that going to show up on every new page you create to have that option?
Yeah. So let me go ahead. So we're back into the custom fields area, and I'm going to switch it back to no meta box where it's seamless and update, so I can show you what that looks like. So let me go back to employees, Kevin, and then if we come down here, now each of them are outside of this white box. So that's the difference. So Kevin is a back-end coder with years of experience with PHP and Java. Anyway, so let me go back to custom fields because I actually like having the what they call them is meta boxes on that thing. It's metadata is kind of how they word it. So I like having the WP meta box better than the other ones. And then positioning, we'll do high after the title so that it will show up first. So, and it really depends on what you're trying to do here. Based upon what your applications are on the front end. So now, right after the title, we now have employee info, and we could almost get rid of everything underneath that and just have it to where it's like title, employee info, and then you can add as many employees. I'm going to go ahead and add myself into here real fast. So I'm going to go ahead and do Brandon. Email is brandon@generationlabs.com. Phone number is, I'm just going to make one up for the sake of the video. Bio is the Lord of Code, and employ whipping. And then my LinkedIn URL. So I'm just going to do LinkedIn as well. So then at that point, I'll go ahead and publish my page. Probably set a featured image would be a good idea as well. For now, I'm just going to make myself the Reddit dude and update that and go back to Kevin and make him, I don't know, what should I make you? We'll see what our choices are. Let's find something good. Yeah, I was thinking we should do Twitter because you hate it so much. Anyway, all right. So you can have your employees' mug shots up in there, and then right here's the team page. It shouldn't show up anything yet, and until we actually go in and create exactly how it works. So we need to actually create our own custom WP query here, and that we go back to the WP or GenerateWP, and we come down here to the WP generator, and all we want to do is do custom post type called employ and publish, and let's update the code. So we will grab all that data right there, copy it over, and this will be, oh come on, let me copy it inside of the PHP tag. So this is our arguments for new query, and then the new query is, and give me 2 seconds, I need to just open this one up to find it. Okay, that's what I was thinking I needed to do. All right, so we put this query right here, and then we have to do query and post, or query post, just like that. Now we're grabbing that data off of the employee. Let's see if anything shows up. All right, so we have Brandon and Kevin. And you can see this is the little excerpt that it adds. Obviously, those are way too big a thumbnail, so what we're going to do is customize the thumbnail size to 100 by 100. Let's see if that shrunk them down. Oh, I need to come over here. Okay, thumbnail size. It's array 100 100. That's what I was looking for. So let's see. Okay, so now we have brand Kevin. Now these currently link to our posts, and that's because they're wrapped in these A tags. So we have to get rid of that. What is nice is when I change one thing, it changes that for both of us. So now we have this ability to kind of have both of us inside of being able to edit multiple items in one page. The only other thing I needed to grab was this class. Actually, do they have? Oh, they just have. All right, so let me go ahead and add the class in there. There we go. So we lined them left. All right. So underneath that, we're able to put the title. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these. A lot of this stuff was meant for the actual post, the data that shows up in the blog roll. So a lot of it's not really needed, like the comments, comment section, that kind of thing. So we're going to get rid of some of that, get rid of these, post class. All right, so at this point, what we can do is have the title shows up right. Let me refresh and see where the title shows up. I think I deleted the title. Yep, I was thinking so. All right, so we'll have the title show up right up here. So the title, and these by the way are loop attributes. They're actually pretty easy to find on the WordPress website. You just pretty much Google these functions. So like the title, and then go into it. Down here at the bottom, it will actually say template tags, and that will give you the giant list of tags you're able to use inside of the loop. And so you can be like, do I want comment tags? Do I want author tags? Here's general tags. So we have like get header, get footer, kind of like what those things do. The ones that we're using right now are more in the post tags. Like right here's the title, the excerpt, the content. So those are like the date, get the date, and that's these are all customizable when you click on them. They have a whole bunch of options that you can customize each one in. For now, so let's go ahead, come back here. Let me do a BR here so I can get these names on different lines. Oh, come on. I hate floats. All right, so we need to do a div class or style just to, so clear both, and that should be able to separate the two. Yep, there we go. So we just separated them. At that point, we can we now need to grab that custom data that we put in. That custom data is inside of that theme that we're using. So this advanced custom fields, their website is actually the best place to get the documentation. So get started, and they have code examples, and they show you exactly how to display a field. So this is the code we need right here to display those fields. So what we're going to do is we're going to display right after the thumbnail, just right in here, we're going to go ahead and display the field name email, then phone, and then we're going to display the bio, and then LinkedIn. So here's LinkedIn. Oh, something. Okay, so there's LinkedIn. So now all that data should start showing up on the front end. And as you can see, it's now showing up. it's not styled yet, so that's where like we have to have a little bit of fun styling this thing. Is we have inside of the while loop, this whole thing right here, we can take all of this data and style it. So we can have, for example, this right here. I'm going to go ahead and style. We're going to go ahead and create a width of 200 pixels, float left, and in fact I'm going to do just 300 to be a little bit more safe. At the very bottom of this thing, I'm going to go ahead and create that. So now we have these little square boxes on the page that we have sitting there. Oh, our sidebar got dismantled, which is fine. I actually didn't want the sidebar in there anyway. So we have more space to work with. Okay, so here's the two things. Float left. I'm gonna go ahead. Let's see. I actually have an extra div there, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Now it should float left. There we go. So then around the thumbnail, we're gonna go ahead and style that to where we have div style margin 10 pixels.
Is it best to do the styling inline like that, or?
No, I'm just doing it for the sake of speed right now, but CSS is by far the best way to style stuff. I'm just doing it for the sake of speed is all. But you would want to have it to where you're styling it the right way. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, with this one, I still need to actually float this left too. So that way it's on the left-hand side of that. Looks like I have 500 pixels too big for each one of those boxes. So let's go down a little. So at this point, what we can do is kind of just finalize the page, put some bold after that, put a BR tag, and then say, for example, what you can do is this right here. They have get filled or the filled, and so if you had get filled, for example, you could do something like this, where you have if get filled email is not blank, which means it has something in it, then do whatever's inside of those brackets, and then you could take this the filled in there and say echo email, and then pretty much put in that get filled right here, and let's get rid of this stuff right here. So I'm going to put a space in there as well. Here, let me cap that off so it's easier to read. Then I could take this exact same thing and do phone with it. So phone. That way, if you don't have it required filled, like for example phone or bio or LinkedIn, if they're blank, they won't show up at all. But if they actually have content in them, they will show up. I'm going to go ahead and put a BR tag right there for phone, and then I could get rid of phone there. Do the exact same thing with bio. Right now, I'm not going to do a whole bunch other than just quickly get through this. So here's the team page now. We have bold, email, phone. It looks like I need to capitalize phone right here. And then we can also do something like this where it's like an href to where we can say telephone, and then we can have get filled phone, and then put the actual phone number in there. So I need to grab this whole thing with a close a tag at the end. So now the phone number, whatever we put in, oh gosh. Let's see, what am I missing? Oh, I am missing one of those. Yeah, it's always like one like thing. So now I just created a link with that phone number, so that you can whenever we add more employees, it will automatically have the link and that kind of stuff built out to the page. We're going to do the same exact thing real fast with the LinkedIn, so that we can actually link to that. So we'll take it'll be get filled LinkedIn instead of the phone. So we'll just copy that in here, get rid of that, and then put LinkedIn here. And LinkedIn here. I'm going to go ahead and move the bio down below that and put H2 bio, and then have the bio show up. Inside of here, this tel, I don't know if you guys have ever used tel in your Ahrefs before. It just makes it so if they're on a mobile device, they click on it, we'll try actually calling that number. Without it, it's just like if it was the normal HTML. However, we want to do target equals underscore blank, so that it doesn't, so it opens up in a new tab. So let me go ahead and refresh that now. So we have our bio underneath, LinkedIn. If I click that, it'll open a new tab up to LinkedIn, the phone, the email, and then we can pretty much, at that point, once we have this front page stylized, we can come back into the employees, click add new, pretty much add each employee, the phone number, all that type of stuff, and it will automatically show up on the front end. And that saves a lot of time with the HTML stuff, what you're talking about, because we'd have to take all of that code, and then all of a sudden over time it would just be so much code that you'd be dealing with. When throwing a lot of that stuff into a post type makes a lot of sense. Post types, another great use for them is, and I'll show you a couple examples real fast. So on a site called affordablecaregroup.com, we use post types to actually categorize like different type of blogs. So in the About Us section, you could click on locations, and then we would use post types to actually pre-build all of the states that they actually delivered carry stuff through, and we'd be able to plug all that data into a plugin here, to where if they click on a state, it would take them into the actual state. That I don't think is Utah, by the way. But then that way they'd have that. We also did this really cool health library, to where we could do a loop like we were doing, pull the data out, and then have it to where we had all these different health infections, stuff like that, and we can kind of click on one, and that way they'd have that type of stuff available to them. Post types, I love this example right here, because you could pull them in. If you click more info, you can do different types of stuff with them, as well as not even showing it on this page, but if you clicked on a contact us page or somewhere else, you could still pull in those custom post type data on multiple different types of pages, so that you can have a lot more functionality with your website without having to redo HTML code or rewrite the content all over the place.
So you're saying that one employee entry, you could have it displayed with all the data and then partial data? Is that what that is?
Yeah. So it's whatever you want to display. I mean, you don't have to show everything, like the featured image. I'm gonna go ahead and log into this client. Hopefully they won't mind. Let's see. All right, so you can see therapists right over here on the side. We'll go into therapists, and we have the different therapists that they have on the website. Inside here, we have their name, the position, more info, the ID, a video that shows up if they actually have like a YouTube video of themselves. Areas of interest, which they're allowed to put in HTML, email, phone, and then their featured image. And then that gets pulled out right to the front of their website, right through the same mechanisms that we kind of just built.
So what is their contact page look like?
So this one we actually built without that page. Their contact page shows up on the About Us. And are you talking about like the back end coding of this, or
no? So like he's going to show up on this page, right? The guy we were just looking at.
yeah?
And then he's also going to show up.
So
he shows up.
He shows up on this page because we put him on this page with a loop to where it would show all the published therapists. And then on the contact page, we copied that exact same loop, but instead we only had their contact information, so we didn't put their whole profile. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can choose based upon what kind of data you're using, what kind of data to display. It makes it. I love this type of stuff, especially for SEO work, because you can actually use it in certain ways throughout your website that makes sense, to where it's not a lot of work or overhead. But especially if you're building a website for yourself, this could help. If you're building a website for someone else, for example, this could make it so much easier for them to use, because they're able to just use the back-end tools and not have to go in to edit the code at all. They can just build a custom template page and then build it that way.
So it's all being edited in that one location, but
Yep.
you're modifying the back-end code per page so that different things are shown.
Yeah. So like for example, this is like if I go into pages and I click on the About Us page, it has some content here, but we're actually using the About page template that we created. That way, and this is a hand-coded website we built, but that way it would show up the way we wanted it to show up. It's a little bit different on this site because it's not a site that I've created myself, so it's a little bit harder for me to kind of show. Obviously, you can see that it's working here, but I hope that you guys kind of got the gist of what this is. Do you have any other questions?
So when you're pulling in the team members on the page, is there a way to, in that GenerateWP page, like say I only want 3 staff members to show?
Yeah. So right here, what you can do is you can order by certain things. Let's see, it's there should be one that's order. Let's see, order. I think it's post per page. Let me look. I have it right here. Okay, post per page. If you have a -1 post per page here, then it shows them all. Or you can say 5, and it would only pull 5. And you can do the order by, so you can be like order descending by the date, modified date. So it's like it will pull the last edited ones, just 5 of them, or something like that. You can also do it to where the Page Nation, or not the Page Nation, it's I believe, yeah, the random right here. You can also have it just pull in like 5 random ones, or something like that, depending on however you want to set up the loop. So the loop, just to kind of quickly go over one more time, is this part right here, the while loop, which is what the data is, and that pulls out based upon what the WP query is. In this case, we did employ and published, and that's basically the gist of how this type of stuff works. So anyway, you guys, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, what other examples, because that makes a lot of sense with the employees, what other type of examples have you used to generate WP? Like, do you have some just quick examples off the top of your head?
Yeah. So I built a website called stgeorgebusiness.com, and so we use post types within this a lot, especially for like the specials page. So we will actually pull in the specials based upon all that. Events page. So I mean, right now you can see the events that we have. So this is the event that we're at today. This is something to where I created like an events post type, created these type of custom fields to where you guys could be able to book into the website and stuff like that. So some of the stuff, a lot of these cool post types, depending on what you want to do, it may already exist in a plugin, and so that could be somewhat helpful. Like if I clicked on, for example, St. George, you can see location, this LOC up here in the URL. That is the post type. St. George is the post data, and so you have like Hurricane, St. George, all that kind of stuff. Then if I came down into here and I clicked on, for example, my company, you can see the URL changed to biz, and then have Generation Labs as the thing, and so like as the business listing is kind of concerned as far as all that type of stuff goes. So it really all depends on what you're trying to accomplish with your website. But using post types is probably the fastest way to make it so that your WordPress website is a complete custom website the way that you want. Because you can like take, for example, you could take and put in a Google Maps off of that thing and get off of the Google Maps. And let me go back to the example page over here. So here's the display fields. So let's see if they have Google Maps down this page. They probably don't. Let me go back one and find the Google Maps real fast. So field types, we have Google Map. Here we go. So Google Map, and then it will actually grab, for example, latitude or longitude, depending on where you're actually clicking on the map, and you can set that up to where it will actually show up on the page. That's so kind of like that. I mean, these are obviously screenshots, but that way you could create a Google Map and have it sticking right exactly where you want it based upon the custom data fields that you put in on that page. So there's a whole bunch of fun stuff that you can do with this. Let's see if they have the you have to include all this stuff to use the Google Maps, and I'm looking for
Seems like one of the advantages is it makes it easier for you or the client to actually plug stuff in.
Oh yeah.
Their website. That basically.
That's the main reason we use them. There's a huge advantage SEO wise to use it this way too, because your content people may not be coding people, and so having your coding people build it so that content people can just focus on content, that is a huge advantage. And that's the beauty of a lot of people. This is like really advanced stuff. Nobody knows about post types. I mean, if you've heard of it before, you probably haven't like realized how much you can really do with them until like I think I explained it pretty well what you can do with different data that's all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's actually pretty cool what you can do with post types. So anyway, it looks like we're out of time for today. Let me go ahead and stop the video. If I can find the stop button. Where did it go? Oh, there it is.